Missouri Star Live. We are so glad to be here with you on this fabulous Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see where everybody's watching from. We have Brandy from Oregon, Evelyn from Florida, Eva from Utah.
Kathy from California.
Thank you guys so much. Let's see, still a bunch more people hopping
Florida, on. Utah.
Awesome. Debbie from San Diego. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are happy to spend a little bit of time with you today, and we have a really, really fun project. Now that Halloween is over, we are gearing up for Christmas, as you can see. So if you are wondering about this quilt behind me, it is called, it's in the description, I forgot. Sorry.
Winter Pines Quilt.
Winter Pines, that's it. All I could think of was, I think our fabric line is called Winter Berry, and so that's all that was coming to mind. Anyway, this is called Winter Pines. This is using our wedge template. It's super, super fun, and there's a tutorial for this, so we thought it was just the right amount of festive to get things started. But what we are doing today is we are going to be making these reusable gift bags, and there is a free printable that you can download. It looks just like this, and it has the measurements for 3 different sizes of these bags, and the sizes correlate to your standard like gift box sizes, so your small, medium, and large gift boxes. So you can see this is the medium size here, this is a large bag here, and then we're going to be working on one that will fit this little small size bag. So go ahead and grab this printable from the description, and it'll tell you all the sizes that we're going to be working with, and that is free for you guys to use. And it's got just a little bit of basic construction on there, but we're going to really dive into that today. So like I said, we're making this small bag, and the fabric that we're using is called Winterberry. And I need to be sure and give a shout out to one of our awesome customers. We met her when we were at Ginny on the Road. Her name is Kim Afholter, and she actually shared this amazing pattern with me and walked me through step by step how she did it, and then was generous enough to let us share it with you. So thank you so much, Kim. We really appreciate all the hard work, and these turned out so cute. So we will get started. We're making the small one, and so you can see here for the main bag we need 2 10.5 by 16.5 inch pieces. So that's what I've got here. I'm using this green print, and then for the cuff we need 2 10.5 by 9, and I'm using these cute words. So we're going to use that. And then for the casing, which is this little piece right here where we're going to feed the ribbon, it looks like we need 2 2.5 by 9.5. And so I've used this plaid print here on that. And then it also tells us what size we're going to measure for our box corner, and then how long we need to cut our 2 pieces of ribbon. So you can see all of the important details are right there. And I have got mine ready to go. So to get started, let's go ahead. Right sides together. And this is, if you have it.
And everybody hears.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a directional fabric, this is where you're going to want to pay attention, because you can see here I have directional fabric on this bag. So when you're putting this right sides together, you're just going to want to make sure that both of those prints are facing the same way, and that what is up is the side you're going to leave open, because we're going to sew 1/4 inch seams on 3 of these sides. And now on this print, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this to the machine. If you feel the need to pin this, you can. You don't really have to. All right, so I'm going to take this over here, and we are just going to sew 1/4 inch seams. Just going to make sure I'm nice and straight, haven't shifted on my fabric. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and come down the bottom here.
They love your tutorials from Hamilton, Australia.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Another Hamilton
We
on
should
the
open
other side of the
another
world.
Missouri Star.
Okay.
Probably bigger than this Hamilton.
And then shifting again. Coming back up the other side. Whoops. Got caught there a little bit.
The lovely Isaac.
Yes, thank you, Isaac, for the close-up. There we go. All right, so we can just go ahead and trim our threads. And then what I like to go ahead and do, I go ahead and box my corners at this point. So what you're going to want to do to box your corners, and part of the reason that I cut this in two separate pieces is because I like to have a side seam and a bottom seam when I am boxing my corners whenever possible. It just makes it easier for me to keep it all lined up and make sure that the boxes are the same on both sides of the bag. So that's just my personal preference. So what we're going to do is we're going to pinch this until we get a peak here. And we're going to, you can see this seam here is the side of our bag.
Up a little.
Like that.
Yeah.
Here's the side of our bag and here's the bottom. And I kind of want to feel with my fingers until they just kind of nest right together. And that feels good right there. And so then I'm just going to lay this just like so. And let me get my ruler here. Okay, and now you can check here. Remember, I said it tells you how far down to measure for your box corner. So we're measuring down 1 inch from the point. And so when we say from the point, that means where the stitching intersects there at the corner. So not where this fabric is at the top. And so we don't have to come down very far. And I'm lining up this center line. Let's use this one because then you can see both. I'm lining up this center line here with my stitches.
Head's in the way.
Sorry. Here's the center line. It's lined up right with my stitches, and you can see this angle is matching with the angle I've made on my bag. And then I'm just going to use any type of marking pin. This is just a regular pin. And I'm going to mark that. And we're going to sew right on that line. So I'm going to go ahead and take this to the machine. If you need to pin to keep it where you want it, feel free to do that. And you will want to back stitch here because you don't want any holes poking through your corners.
There is some conversation going on YouTube about doing this in French seams, and that would be a good idea. You'd probably want to cut your fabric just a little bit bigger.
Absolutely. If you want to do French seams, go ahead and cut it a little bit larger. And you might need to adjust the size of your cuff because it's all enclosed already. You'll see that in a minute. But I just found that it's pretty forgiving. You don't want it to fray. If you have a serger, you could go ahead and run this edge with a serger, or you could run a zigzag over it to help cut down on fraying as well. So you can see we've gone ahead and done this side. I can trim that off. Let me grab my rotary cutter.
And what if they rip the wrapping paper? You know what I mean?
If they rip this wrapping paper,
yeah.
well, then you're going to have to stitch it back up. All right, so that one's good to go. You can see kind of what we're going for there, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'll give you one more chance to see. Hopefully my head won't be in the way this time. Sorry about that. So again, we're just going to pinch it to create this peak. And then we're going to feel with our fingers until our seams.
I'm going to come and get a close up on this.
All right. Our seams are nested right there, and I just fold this down. There we go. And then again, we're going to measure down 1 inch. You can see I've lined up this center seam here with my stitch line, and then this angled 45 line is on the outside edge of my bag just to make sure I've got this all straight. Then we're going to come in and mark, and we're going to take that to the machine. And that's it. Okay. Get started again. Remember to backstitch at the beginning and the end. we go. Ta-da! And then we will trim that off. Okay, so there is that. So now we can sit this aside for now. We actually will go ahead and turn it right sides out. And there is the body of our bag. So we're going to set that aside. Then now we have our cuff fabric, and I am using these cute Christmas words, and I'm going to again put them right sides together, making sure that all of my words are going the same direction. And we're going to sew on both sides. I've already sewn on one, so I'm just going to take it to the machine and sew down this side.
So Copper was asking if there was lines on the sewing machine. Are they drawn like that, or you add those?
Okay, so remember a few weeks ago I talked about this diagonal seam tape? That's what is on my machine right now. So it also has, this center line, and then it has 1/4 inch lines on both sides. So that's what you're seeing on my machine. Pretty handy, I like it.
After you're done sewing, can you show us that one more time so we can get a good view on it, Misty?
Okay. All right, so we have that ready to go.
Or not? Wait.
I didn't hear your question.
Will you
Sorry.
show us the seams on there, the lines?
Oh, yep. So this is the diagonal seam tape, and it comes on a roll. Where did I put it? I had a bunch of extra, but anyway, it comes on a roll, and it has your center line, which is for when you're making half square triangles. You can line up your points on either side and then sew corner to corner. And then it has 1/4 inch marks on either side of that as well. So that's what you're looking at. Pretty handy. And we do have that here at Missouri Star. Okay, so now this is our cuff, and so what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. Let me move this stuff out of the way, make sure
Kathy
my
says I'm
irons...
supposed to be working.
Oh, sorry, Kathy.
We won't tell. We will not
Yeah,
tell.
we're not very good at, you know, keeping you doing your job, I guess. But a little craft break is always good, right? All right, so we're going to fold this in half. Make sure our side seams line up and our top seams line up, and then we're just going to take this and press it over here at the ironing board just so it kind of stays where we want it.
The tape would probably be a good stocking stuffer, huh?
It would be a great stocking stuffer. It'd be perfect. Okay, so there's our cuff. And now we can set it aside, and the last thing we need to do is to create that little casing for our ribbon. And so this is what we're aiming for here. This is our 2.5 by 9.5 inch piece for this size bag. And so I've just turned under the edges and sewn those down and then pressed them in half. So we'll do that here. I just go ahead and fold under 1/4 inch. Now I just did once on mine because, like I said, I just wasn't really too worried about it. I don't envision these getting very dirty. I'm just not worried about it. If you want to fold it under twice, you absolutely can do that. I'm just going to do once. We're going to give that a press. And then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half long ways as well. And press it in half like so. This just gets all my pressing done here. And then I can go ahead and take this to the machine, and I'm going to take it into the machine this way because then I can see when I'm top stitching just how far over I can get and make sure I don't run off the edge because it's going to be a little less than 1/4 inch. Okay, lost my foot pedal.
Push.
There it is. There's one side and the other. There we go. And as you can see, then it's already pressed in half and ready for us. So now we're going to pin everything in place and sew it together. So first things first, we're going to take our casing pieces here, and we're going to pin one to the front side of the bag and one to the back side. And so I just take my seams and I eyeball, actually let's turn it this way. I'm going to eyeball that it's centered. You can always measure if you want to. And I'm going to put a couple pins in here to hold this in place. Just make sure you're only pinning through that top layer of your bag. There's that one. And we just want our top edges to line up all the way across. Pin that, and then we'll flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. Whoops.
My squeaky chair, can you guys hear that?
There's that one. And this one.
So
Okay.
you put that on before the top goes on?
You put this on before the cuff. It has to go between the bag and the cuff. So that's the first step. And then we're going to slide our cuff over. And if you have directional fabric, that's part of why we decided to use this to show you. If you're using directional fabric in your cuff, when you have your bag oriented this way towards you, the words are going to be right up so you can read them. And you're going to slide this inside. And we're going to do the same thing and line up those edges this way. And I know this seems backwards, but I promise this will work out in the end. So we're going to find our side seams. Remember, we have side seams in our cuff and our bag. So we're going to line those up. And we're going to line it up there. I'm just going to go ahead and put a pin in there. And just keep working around. This is one instance where it really does help to pin. Take your time.
Linda says, squeaky chair, sure, Jake. This old house, creaking.
Then we'll flip it around to the other side. Pin this in place. And one more for good measure. Then I'm going to take
Cream
this
puffs back.
extension table off here.
Sorry, that was random.
And we're just going to slide this in. And we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. If you want to sew a little bit wider, you can. We're going to do that all the
Roxanne
way
was
around.
asking us about our Thanksgiving plans.
We always host Thanksgiving at our house, so we will have a party over there with some good food and family. Nothing too crazy.
We always pull all the living room furniture out, and we put a big table in there.
Giant table, yep. Oh, just in case you didn't see, I did backstitch there at the beginning, just to lock it all in place. You are working with a lot of layers here, so just take your time, and that's why it's important to pin. It keeps everything where it needs to go. We're about halfway. And also make sure when you're pinning all those things in place that you pin them far enough down that they're not going to get in the way of where you're sewing, because the ones from your cuff are hidden in there and you can't see them, so you do not want to run the risk of sewing over that. Oops. All right, almost back to this end. Got a little bit of gathering there. This is going to be on the inside. I'm not going to worry about it. And then back stitch again. There we go. And then we'll trim our threads. And then this way you need to be really careful when you're taking your pins out, because remember, there are some in the inside as well. So we're going to get these outside ones first. Just like so.
Linda asked, who cooks?
Oh, it's a big joint effort. Jake usually makes the turkey.
I make the bird.
I make the sides. Everybody brings something to share. It's good. All right, there we go. Take these pins out now. And you see when we folded it up, our words are still facing the right way. Ta-da! Just how we wanted. Okay, so then now all that's left, if you want to give this a press, it'll help that. I like to press the casing down towards the body of the bag, just to kind of get it to go where I want. Do the same thing, pretty much going this way, but ta-da! All right, so the next step is just to feed your ribbon through, and for this size bag, you need 2 pieces of ribbon. This is just 1-inch grosgrain ribbon, and it is 28 inches long, so you need 2 pieces that are 28 inches, and then we need a safety pin to feed this through. And we're gonna just start here. We're just gonna work it through.
Yeah, they're asking about the quilt behind you.
This is called
Winter Pine.
Winter Pines, and there is a tutorial and a pattern. It's Missouri Star pattern. And you can get that in the link below.
And the link is to the video tutorial.
Yeah, the link is to the video tutorial, but that should take you to, if you look in that description, it'll take you to the landing page where you can get all the pattern and the template that it uses. So super, super fun. All right, so you can see we've feeded this like through one direction, around one side, and out the other.
Feeded?
Feeded, it's a, yeah.
Your mom would be ashamed of you.
She would be ashamed. What?
My mom would be. She always
Yeah.
is the worst.
Listen, we're not perfect here. It's fine.
Ain't a word, so you ain't gonna say it.
Yeah. All right, so then now we're gonna line up these 2 sides and we're gonna tie them in a knot. Nothing fancy, but we don't want them to come out. All right, ta-da, one side is done. And then we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So we're gonna take our other piece of ribbon. We're gonna start on this side and feed it through. Pull that straight, flip it over. I do try and make sure that my ribbon lays flat, just because I'm weird, I guess. I don't think it really matters in the long run because it's going to get bunched up as you pull it and use it, but I like the way it looks when it's all flat. There we go. Then we've got that side through. Same thing.
The Melanie Grace said she's in the process of making a king-size version of the Winter Pines.
Ah, that's awesome.
It's going to be a beautiful quilt.
I
mean, I'm not like biased or anything.
That is Jake's template.
But I did come up with that template.
Yes. So he's a little biased and proud of it. So there we go. Ta-da! That's it. Easy peasy. And I've got one of the small boxes here. I should have goodies inside.
Well, think about all that. I mean, we love wrapping paper, but...
Right, but it's a lot of waste. A ton of waste.
Well, and you like have trash bags full of stuff.
Yeah.
This is kind of...
It's kind of awesome because you can reuse this. You can make it for, you know, Christmas, birthdays, and then instead of having a bunch of stuff to throw away, at the end of the presents opening, you have all these cute little bags that you can reuse. And I feel like these will look adorable under your tree. So,
oh, yeah.
So cute. So that is it. Easy as pie. Does anybody have any questions?
And we are putting the pattern is in the link for this, right?
Yes, so this free printable is included. It's not a full pattern, so it just gives you the measurements that I went over for the 3 different sizes. So all 3 of these sizes you see here, it has the cutting sizes required, and then just very generic how to assemble each step, but we don't really go into detail of the like full finishing because we just ran out of room on our paper. But hopefully I covered all of it here for you guys.
Copper was saying she might make a few, but she's a rap star.
Oh, I am a rap star too.
Well,
I
Misty's the
love
worst.
beautiful
Everything
presents. Everything has to have giant bows, but as I get a little older and wiser, I do feel like it's a lot of waste, and you know, anything we can do to be a little bit more environmentally friendly, I'm all about that. So this is a great option.
Well, and yeah, I think it's not necessarily trying to take everything over, but it's a good option.
It's a great option.
You could make some that match your wrapping paper.
Exactly. Just mix it in. Do a little good, you know. And if you need like a Santa bag decoration, I feel like this would be perfect. If you have, I know some people who have like a special Santa bag, and that's what the Santa gifts come in. So this would be a great option for that as well. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are having a great week, and we will be back with lots more Christmas projects. Thanks again.
Great ideas, great projects.
Yes, all kinds of good stuff.
See you here next week.
That's right. And thanks again to Kim Affolter for sharing this with us. We really, really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, and have a happy Tuesday. See ya.
We'll see you guys.